So today we are going to be going over Lesson 6, Chapter 6, pages 80, 81, 82, and 83. So last week you guys talked about Native Americans in Chapter 2 and how they originally were from Asia, but they traveled over and landed in the continent North America, and they settled there for a while. And in 1492, there's this guy named Christopher Columbus, which a lot of you guys know. He sailed to North America. He was actually looking for Asia, and he ended up in North America. And he realized that this is a new continent and that people need to start coming over and living there. It's a great place to live. Well, in Chapter 2, we learned about American Indians and how they were already living there. And what happened is people were coming over, and unfortunately American Indians lost a lot of land and they died because of some diseases that these people traveled over. So that's just a little overview about what's going on before you started reading about Lesson 6. So let's get into this first page right here. So you learned about, or you read about, the first 3 English settlements. So there was Roanoke, Jamestown, and Plymouth. And the big question in this chapter is, why did settlements survive and why did others did not? So let's go to the next page. And we're going to talk about the first settlement, Roanoke. So you guys might have heard about Roanoke before. It's called the Lost Colony, and you read a little bit about this already and why it's the Lost Colony. I'll tell you about that in a second. So Roanoke was the first place that the English people settled. In 1584, Sir Walter Raleigh believed England could be more powerful if the American colonies had its own land. So Sir Raleigh decided to travel around to find land that they could go to because they thought they needed more power in England. So they traveled along, and he eventually landed on an island which is known today as North Carolina, by North Carolina, and they named it Roanoke. And so sailors were so excited to tell Raleigh of all the wonderful resources they had and to create a settlement. Now, settlement. Let's read that definition. A small community created by settlers in a new territory. So that is what a settlement is. So Raleigh sent people over there, but it eventually failed. They did not have enough tools to be successful. So Raleigh decided that once that failed and that people had to come back to England, he decided to send out another set of colonies, another set of settlers. So they went there, and they had some people there, and one of the captains decided to go back to England to get some supplies. Well, this captain had to stay in England for a little bit because they had a war going on. So he had to wait 3 years. And here's what the mystery comes in about the Lost Colony. This captain goes back to North America, to Roanoke, and they find out that they're not there. They completely disappeared. All their housing, any sign of them living was completely gone. And to this day, no one truly knows where the people of Roanoke went. And it's a crazy little mystery. So, but this was the first settlement of the people from England coming over. But it wasn't successful, and we don't quite know to this day what happened to those people. All right. So we are going to go, and then we're going to talk about our second settlement, which is the Jamestown Colony. So in 1606, King James I ruled England. He was what we call a monarchy. So a monarchy is a form of government in which the ruler is a king or queen. And we've learned about this. We know about monarchies. We've learned about King George III and how he was a monarchy. And that's not till later on, but we've already learned about that. And They wanted to start a colony in North America. They, at this point, they've had Roanoke, but that wasn't quite successful. So King George wanted to start a new colony in North America and settle in eventually what is known as Virginia. And they hoped it could make them richer. They were out for gold. They wanted to become richer. And so they settled in Virginia in May of 1607, hoping to find gold. And they settled there, and they called it Jamestown. And they called it Jamestown in honor of King James the First. So the groups built a settlement there, and they did it by the river. And they thought that was a good idea because there was going to be gold there. And it turned out that land was not so great. It was actually pretty terrible. As you read, the farming, they couldn't farm anything. It was very dirty, had a lot of diseases going around. So it really wasn't the best place for them to set up. And then it starts talking about Captain John Smith. And then for my next video, I'm going to go in about Captain John Smith. So for today, this is all I'm going to cover.